All right, guys. I'm going to let you take a look at what I'm battling here. See if I get one here. Came right out. Nope, came right out. Okay, so not pulling out. It's wedged in there real good. I saw this on the, what is his name? The No Way guy on like Facebook. I'm assuming TikTok stuff. I don't watch that, but so just grab it, hold it, and they pop out. It isn't. It's crazy. Little trick for you. All right, guys. Just one more for you in case you don't believe me. Okay, that one's really wedged in there. It pulls off the impact altogether. Okay. That's not going to wiggle just out. So, has to vibrate. So, spinning inside your hand. But you already see it. It's already coming out. So, No Way guy. Thanks. See the play in there? That shouldn't be there. It's all inside that ball joint. So, all right, guys. So, if this is still all original, you're gonna have this style clamp on here. These are actually really nice. I like them. They've got a little loop on this side. You just pull it out, push it, boom, it's out. And I'll give you a look. That pin that I'm holding on to is just straight, but it hooks right onto that castle nut. They're really nice, easy to get off of. But if not, you'll probably have a pin through there. But for my sake, this was all original. So, okay. This should be, I have to move you guys a little bit. This is a 19. And I like these long double-ended wrenches. This is a Duratec. It's a little bit bulkier than a snap-on would be, but it gets the job done and not bad at all. So that's a 19 for this castle nut. And then I've got some gear wrenches, ratcheting wrenches. Honestly, it's pretty loose already. You can use to zip it off. Okay. Now, if for some reason you're just getting in here because you need to do some work to something else and it's not part of just replacing this lower control arm, you'd want to take this nut, put it back on top. I like going down pretty far. Like we're just shy of flush. There's still plenty of room that you're going to see whenever you smack this with a hammer that it's loose, and we'll be hitting right here. Only thing I forgot to grab was a hammer. Nope. Had to let go. Yep, let go that time. I might have made a mistake firing the heaters up. A lot toastier in here than I was anticipating. Okay, so we're loose, but we're not going to take that out yet. We're going to come around to the front. Let me kill that light, guys, or turn it. I'll grab another light. So it's a 36. It's a little loose, but it's going to be more than enough to get it off. And the reason, let me do this. Okay. So the reason we're taking this axle nut off, and then what we're going to do is push that through, is so that I don't pull. Get a light on the other side now, so we're going back. Just so we don't pull the axle out of here, or more commonly is you'll separate the axle internally on the inside piece. Okay, so that is why you're loosening it and just pushing it out a little bit. That way, whenever you see if I can do this. Apparently I didn't eat my Cheerios today. Oh. Okay, we're just going to walk that out a little bit like that. Okay. And yet again, we're not trying to hyperextend anything. And honestly, I think, nope, that's all she's going to give me. Okay. So now we've got to get these other bolts out. And so this is a captured nut here. That's not going to come off. So you're going to come to the other side. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and turn the steering wheel the other way to give me a little more room in here. So I can't remember. It's been some time. But our bolt is right back in there. And I cannot, for the life of me, remember if you can get that off that way. So I could mess around with it and try, but it's like this bar is going to be just a pain. So we're going to audible, try to make smarter decisions here a little bit. I kind of, not gonna lie, I kind of messed myself over because I parked on the other side way over to give myself a lot of room on this side. Okay. So I'm going to take this off here. Just a sway bar link. I'm not going to lie, it might be easier to do the other side as well. We're going to try without, see if we can use a pry bar and get enough, just enough to get through. Okay, this is a 17. These do have a tendency to spin, and if it's original, I didn't even notice that, this boot's all torn up. I might replace it. I'll have to see if I have an extra one laying around. On the back side here is a steel ring that you can put a set of vice grips on. Help hold it. Also, in front of here is an Allen that if you have if you want to wrench it off, or if you've got a gear wrench, open-end gear wrench, how their sockets are set up with no, I'll show you. So this is a gear wrench socket setup, okay, and it's got an opening so that whenever you put it on here, I can still get to that Allen in there and hold it that way. I'm going to try get a set of vice grips, because it does have a, again, a large steel ring, and I'll show it to you once we get it off. That you can clamp onto. There or what? It definitely came off quite a bit. Sometimes zip it in a little bit. And I did wedge those pliers a little bit. Oh. You see that steel ring now right there? So you could clamp onto it and hold it from spinning. So this definitely is going to have to get replaced. I don't know if I have one on me today. No, I didn't notice that. And I am skeptical, because now with that, we'll be fighting the pressure on the other side. I think I'm just gonna have to go lift up the other side. The reason I didn't want to is because, well, I pulled this in real tight to this side. In my garage, I don't have a ton of room. I got a bunch of crap. So give me a minute. Let me get the other side loose. It's gonna be the same side as this, same thing as this side. Take it loose. That'll allow that bar just to flip straight up, and I'll show you guys here in a minute. All right, guys. So I took 5 minutes. I took this off the other side, and what that allows us to do is boom, we can lift straight up on that. And now I'll be able to sneak an impact with a swivel on here. So I'm gonna get that set up, and we'll pop in there and zip it out, make our life 10 times easier. If you're doing this job and you don't know how old these are, it is my recommendation that you probably just purchase them and replace them, okay? All right, let's see. It's that easy. Zip, zip. And then you just lift this out of the way. The ideal way to do this is if you take a wrench, we're gonna put it on like that, and you get up on there. Just now I push that too low. This won't be this hard for you guys. I am battling a little bit because I'm trying to leave the camera in a good spot for you, and you're not gonna have to worry about a camera. So all I did was take the open end, put it on there, and you put pressure on the direction of the impact, and you just walk it out, okay? So we got one more bolt, which is going to be a bolt right here. It's going to come straight out the bottom, and that, just to let you guys know, this other one I pulled out, that's a 19, and if my memory serves me, this will also be a 19 as well. All right. Reposition again so you can get a little better light. All I'm going to do is push this over and out, and I don't know if you guys can see that or not. This is how it's pulled out a little bit, so that we're putting no stress on these two joints, and then you just wiggle around out. Okay. All right. Okay, so you can see this thing comes with a hard plastic cover on it. It's to help protect the boot so it doesn't get damaged. There's no harm in leaving that on while you do your install. So all I did, again, how I'm doing it, I don't know if this is the right way or not, but I came over here, slid this side in first, okay? You could even put a bolt in it. In fact, I think that was going to be what I try to do. Alright, I can see that bolt moving in there. I feel good about it. So now I'm going to try shifting the control arm forward and up as much as I can, or out, I guess is going to be the true answer. But ouch, not out very much, okay? So then we're going to swing this in when we do that. Be careful, I got it in there, but it did catch my hand right there because I was holding like that. So, a little warning to you other guys out there might be trying that. And the reason for that protective boot, in my opinion, leaving it on, is if you see that steel is pushing right up against it, and the last thing you want to do is damage the boot inside here. Because you chose to take that plastic cover off. Doesn't hurt anything, it's not going to get in your way. You will be able to get it off at the end of this and do what you need to do. So, my recommendation, personally, I'm leaving it on there to protect that boot. So we're going to push this back up. We can see our hole, and it's going to need some adjusting. All right. So both bolts are started. I'm going to use, personally, I'm going to use an impact. I'm going to run them down. Is there a torque spec? Absolutely. Do I know it? Nope. So, yet again, how I'm doing it, not necessarily how you should do it. After turning wrenches for a while, you'll know when things of certain bolt sizes are tight. So that's just how I choose to do it. I don't have one of those fancy torque wrenches to tell you how tight I'm getting it, but I'm sure somebody out there or somebody in the comments will be happy to post and let me know how I am doing this oh so wrong by not torquing it. They're out there. Might be you. Okay, sorry guys. Let's reposition again. Okay, I think you can see pretty good. So, okay. Okay. Once you get it underneath, you can kind of relax and take a breath, okay? So, don't try to stick your fingers under here, lining this up at all. I know it's roughly in the right spot. All we're going to do is push forward, and it's going to find its home. Just rock it a little bit. And right here, guys, had that been your boot, imagine the damage that would have been done to your boot on the brand new control arm that you're putting on here to fix your problem. Okay? Maybe the boot would have been resilient enough to take it, but not a risk I am willing to take. So, now, once we got that on there, we'll take this. Sorry about the loud dings. So all I'm doing with this hand, for those of you that may not understand, I'm putting a little tension on here because this is actually pretty loose and it won't ratchet on its own because these are not top tier. Like they're good ratcheting wrenches, but they're not they're not the most sensitive ones out there, I guess is all I'm saying. Needs to go just a smidge more. All right. Oh no. There it is. Now you could use the clip that came with the kit. I'm going to use the same one that was on it when it started. Like I said, I really like those clips. I think they're high quality. They push right through. And you don't have to get the hole, you just have to get the hole close, as opposed to this guy here. You're gonna have to get it a lot closer to be able to slip that in, okay? So, that's the counter pin that would have gone in it, and then you just bend over and cut it or tap it down flush, okay? But yet again, I'm not gonna be using that. Give me 1 second, guys. I am gonna go see if I have another boot or another brain fart sway bar link to put on this van, but I'm not sure. Give me 1 minute. I want to emphasize I do a lot of work on Hondas in particular, so you should anticipate this, but I think yep, I think I am lucky. So, alright guys, so got that taken off with the grinding wheel. It's not coming off any other way. There we go. Now, we just take the new one and we are and sometimes you just gotta cut them, guys. That's just in that awkward position. You could have sat and fought it and did it, or you could have taken 5 minutes and just, well, let's wait. Second thoughts. Let's get this guy tightened up first. I don't know, I think these are not the same size. So my new ones are going to be 19s, which is fairly common. Bottom's tight. Now we can do the top. Okay. So some people may ask, why are you ratcheting this down by hand versus just running an impact? You might get lucky running an impact. You probably get lucky fairly often. But what I found is that doing it by hand allows you to run less of a risk of it spinning on you. So alright, so now to finishing the job. Okay, so there's a few things we still have left. All right. Whew, it's still hot. Okay, so long as you didn't pull this out too far, everything's still going to be lined up. You can check it. The odds that you're going to pull that out pretty low, but always make sure. You should be able to get that nut started quite a bit. Spin the other one I brought. There it is. There it is. Again, I used a 36 on this one, guys. Okay. Puts me about in the same spot. And I do have steel in. Okay. And we're just putting that corner right there, smash it down so it can't walk off. Okay, so one last thing you guys should consider, depending on how good or how not good you were with your hammer. Okay, so if we come around here, what I want to take a look at is this flex plate and make sure that it's still back and we didn't hit it with the hammer and have it running on your rotor and rubbing and making a noise and making you worry that you messed something up. So always double check your pans, and always just double check your work in general. So I'm going to reach around, I'm going to fill my clip, I'm going to look, see that my bolt looks good and seated. I'm going to bounce onto the older one, good and seated. I'm going to check that, it's tight, it's tight. Only thing you could do more here is spray that with a little primer or something if you want to help try to prevent rust. So outside that puts you done with this lower control arm. Apologize. And good to go. I'm gonna get a tire on it and just show you the difference in the wheel movement. So give me 1 minute, I'll get a tire on it. Okay guys, nice and tight. We'll slide you guys back in under here. That ball joint's not moving at all. So now, of course, guys, I still have to put my other side back together, but I don't need to show you that and waste your time. Okay. This is how I did it. I hope you found it helpful. Hope this helps you understand the level of challenge there is here. Long, medium pry bars. Honestly, just a box in 19, a 17, and a 19 wrench, and a set of vice grips, and that should be able to get you through most of it. If you run into some serious problems, you might need a cutoff wheel. So that's something you just can't predict. But you guys saw how much easier it was once I took both sides off to lift that up. Just make sure you're taking off the top one. The top one's the easiest one to get to, easiest one to do, easiest one to get back on. So until next time, guys, be safe. And I, yet again, hope you found this helpful. All right, guys, I feel a little guilty here. I forgot, I'm gonna throw this in somewhere. I'm at the very, very end, I'm done. But you're gonna have to check your alignment, usually with stuff like that. So that's something you're probably gonna have to go to a dealership or a tire shop that actually does alignments, and definitely have your alignment checked, because that much play in there is gonna give you some camber issues or potential toe-in, but more likely camber. But get your alignment checked is my recommendation, or very, very, very closely monitor your tire wear. Okay, but just a little money-saving tip there. Don't forget about the alignment. All right, because I think some people are going to ask is, why didn't you just do a ball joint? You could have pressed the ball joint on and off. The problem with this is aluminum and steel don't mix, and when you go to press them in and out, traditionally it does not turn out well for you. Okay, so I'm going to cut this boot off just for those that may want to see. Okay, now you see how dry, because these aren't serviceable, so you can't grease them. There are needles. I apologize guys, my camera died. But you see how easy this moves? That's not normal. You shouldn't be able to spin it like that. But, and this was giving me a shimmy at 65, like 60 to 65, and it almost feels like a flat tire getting a flat. And I don't know if this just got bopping around in there, but I thought some of you guys might like to see the end of that. So, but you can see they're non-serviceable, and that grease is just all dried out and just turned to crap. So, but you know, what do you expect from a van that's got, I don't know, 200,000 miles on it, and it's a '07? So, but I thought some of you guys might enjoy it.